Damn it. Okay, sorry, I forgot to record in the first part. Okay, but that may not be that important. So we'll start recording from here now. And where am I? So that's why. So the TA will only just assess your grades very roughly. That's what I mean. Okay. So don't worry. And then you submit it to the email address, and then what else? And then if you go down. From the last part of my teaching that semester, I start to record it. You can see the 上课录影 okay? 上课录影 you go there, I put it on the file. I put it all the lecture recording. But in Chinese, because that's from my last semester. Okay, so anyway, so this year I will do the same. This year I will do the same. And if you want to see my style of teaching, or you want to understand what the way I look at physics, you can of course, especially Chinese student, the Taiwanese student. What? No what? Good. Okay. Okay. Now, yeah. So you can see my style from these how I teach it. 这就是我们今天的目标，而且1天就可以完成。今天完成了，所以我就说再一次，我们今天的目标呢，就是把积分的所有方程式写成微分形式。那当然我们还有一个小小的目标是下礼拜要完成的。那就是我们小小的目标呢，为什么在这个时候插进来？我们是在讨论波方程式。Okay, so now you see my style. So so that almost all the materials, including the class recording, will be on the site. But this is for this year. From this, I keep saying last year. I should say the other of my mathematical physics course. So let's go back to ours. Another way to reach the course site is go to the school department and look at the personnel of the department and find my personal page. On the personal page, I list all the courses I teach, including the second mathematical physics, and you are the first also here. Okay, and then of course I will add everything else below here. Any question up to now? I know you try to enter this international course by most of the reason is to improve your English, or because your English is better than Chinese. Yeah. So, but you know, English is not everything. The real spirit of Western education is talk and response. Okay. So the missing point of Chinese education or Eastern education is actually response. The teaching is almost all the same. You can see it from now almost every professor posts their teaching on site on the web, so you can actually simple teaching from the Western institutes of education, including Harvard, MIT, whatever you want, Stanford. So teaching is not so different. It's not so different. The different probably is response. So I do really want to get response from you. Okay, so we'll start from in 1 hour. So in 1 hour, I would like to hear from you. Okay, I'd like to find, because we have a very small size, especially 7 are in Singapore. So I really want to hear from you. Okay, yeah. So and after the break, I will talk for about half an hour, and then we have a break. And please come back when we gather together. I would like you to introduce yourself. I really want to know you. Okay, first of all. Okay, and tell me, why do you join this international course? First of all, okay, what's your expectation? Okay, of course, I want to increase my career, or I want to improve my physics, or I want to improve my English. Oh, that's all okay. But just tell me, what do you really think, so that I can understand you more. I can adapt my teaching to your needs and your capability. Oh, that's the point. Okay, think of it, but you don't need to go very long. We don't have so much time. Okay, so 1 or 2 minutes will be enough. Okay, but talk about why you want to join this international program. And after 6 months, have 1 semester, do you think English is a hindrance to your learning physics? 你觉得英文对你来说是一个学物理的阻碍 ？Or does it help? Tell me. What else? Oh, and what do you think this English teaching will affect your career? First of all, what do you want in your career? You can just tell me the truth that you want to go to TSMC, maybe. You can just say that. I want to go to TSMC, and TSMC speak English. Really? They speak English. My wife is from TSMC, so. Yeah, so just tell me what you feel, so that I can understand you a little bit more. Okay? Now, here, so in half an hour, 40 minutes. Okay, think about it. 1 minute or 2 minutes will be fine. So on this page, so this is a PowerPoint file. I try to give you my sense of purpose in this course. 一个 introduction, 一个简介，一个简介，所以一个简介。那 this is my name, Chia-Hung, or you can call me Vincent, V-I-N-C-E-N-T, Vincent. And my office A213. This is my but it doesn't work. my phone broke down. So, but you can call me on my cell phone. 0922492150. I rarely reveal my phone number, so treasure it. I don't give it to anybody else. And this is my email. It's easiest to reach by email. I almost check email every 5 minutes. Okay, so email is easier. I have an FB, but I haven't go to there so often recently. It's too busy. So, and the personal site. This is my personal site. Okay, and class. Oh, sorry. I should change it to the other. Our real. I should change it to this. Okay. And then from here we have a course summary. Although the first paragraph are in Chinese, but the list of the stuff of the material every week are in English. Okay, done. Yeah, so that's most of the data you will need for this class. Any question up to now? 有没有问题？ If you want, you can ask in Chinese. It's okay. So it's 在这个课堂上面讲中文不是一个禁忌，所以你 if you just want to relax a little bit, I am telling them if you just want to relax a little bit to speak in Chinese, it's okay. I will translate. 所以放松一些啊。I try to be more or less in English, but you are okay to be in Chinese, to speak in Chinese. 现在不讲，等一下你们还是得讲啊。好 ，If you don't speak now, in half an hour. Okay. Anyway, so that's my most of my data. So in half an hour, in the next 30 minutes, I will tell you what I think about this course. First, I show you I show you our textbook. It's called Mathematical Methods for Physicists. It's written by I Feb. We usually call it I Feb. When you in the physics business you say I Feb, everybody know what you're talking about because unfortunately, very strangely, there's only one textbook for the mathematical physics. It's a very strange course. I told you already. Very strange. Mathematical physics. Whether it's mathematical physics or physical mathematics. In Chinese, 到底是数学物理还是物理数学? Is it mathematics or is it physics? It's a kind of hybrid of the two things. So when I first learned it, when I took this course 20, 30, 40 years ago, I lost count of my age. 40, no, I'm not kidding, sorry, I am 60 now. Okay, so 40 years ago, I hated so much. I hated so, I can say 15 times. So much. I never want to touch this course anymore. Okay, so I didn't teach it for the past 40 years. But I'll tell you why I decided to teach it again. But I want to tell you why it's very strange. Why did I hate this course? Because the way it was usually taught, especially when I was taught 40 years ago, this course is taught not like mathematics, nor physics. It does not have the elegance of mathematics, nor the beauty and power of physics. 但在我学的时候，这个教的方式，甚至在现在教的方式也还是一样，它叫做数学物理，但是一点都没有数学的优雅，也没有物理的美跟力量。Okay, because you can see it from the title of the textbook. It's a mathematical method, so it's a menu. So that's why this course is closely related to so-called 工程数学. If you have some other friends in the engineering department, they have this course called 工程数学. And I'm not so sure what you call in English, engineering maths? Yeah, engineering maths. And you know what? The material is almost the same. We are tougher, we are more difficult, but they are the same. So, under the bad influence of our engineering colleagues, this course becomes a manual of methods. Okay, so it becomes a mathematical methods for application to problem in physics. That was the way my professor viewed it 40 years ago. 把它当成是一个手册，把它当成是一个 solution 的蓝本. So every time you find a problem you want to solve, you open the textbook to find the methods. So it's for engineering. I don't want to criticize the engineering colleague, but it's not mathematics, it's not physics. Okay, so if there is a slogan for this course, I would say, let's make mathematical physics real mathematical and real physics again. MAGA. So you know what MAGA is, right? No? Trump's political movement is MAGA. And make America great again. MAGA. So our movement slogan is make mathematical physics, mathematical and physics again. So my motivation is to make this course, and the second reason, there is another reason, because you are taking calculus, 没有错吧？都有在上 calculus 嘛，对不对？You are taking calculus, and you got 2 mathematical course in the same semester. That's really strange. I don't want to criticize anybody, but it's a really strange arrangement. 就你们这个学期竟然要学2门的数学课，很奇怪吧 ？Okay, so it's not usually done this way. This is the first year. This is the first year. I have a very strong personal reservation about this arrangement. Okay, you're in the physics department. How do you take 2 mathematical courses at the same time? So no, it's not a good arrangement. But anyway, to remedy this condition a little bit, I cannot remedy anything. Okay, a lot of things. To remedy it for a little bit, I want to make this course more physics. More physics means I want to feel the physics behind the methods, the mathematics. Of course, the physics, the mathematics are there because we have actually a very, very, very consistent theme and topic, mathematical theme and mathematical topic. You will see after 1 year, you will see there is a very, very strong and very, very concentrated, consistent mathematical theme of the whole thing. So in the process of making physics our focus, actually I will also making mathematics our focus. You will see. I hope I can accomplish that, but God help me. Okay. Now, so before I talk more, there are 3 major mathematical topics here. 3 mathematical topics here. The first 就是数学物理通常有3个最典型的那个数学的这个主题。There are 3 mathematical topics, also engineering mathematics. First is differential equation, especially partial differential equation. 偏文的方程式，你们还没有学对不对？微积分还没有学到。Yeah, that's why I say that you haven't learned partial differential equation, that partial differentiation yet. So that's why it's very, very okay. So partial will be. I will think about it, how to do it. But anyway, the major topics first is partial differential equation or ordinary differential equation. Ordinary differential equation means, let me write back here. For example, spring. Understand notation? Okay. Please raise your hand. I told you, the Western education, the beauty of it is talk and response, talk and response. Okay, so this is a differential equation. It's actually an equation of motion because it is an equation that controls the motion of a spring, right? Let me write. Draw a diagram. Do you know what equation of motion is? Have you ever heard it in your general physics course? No, I'm trying to know what Chia-Hung老师 have told you. 有没有上过 Have you learned this? Okay, good. You can knock more heavily so I can see. Yeah, great. That's not I'm worried about that. You may not know what equation of motion is. So the equation of motion is essentially F and ma, right? So if you tell me what F is, then you got an equation. This is an equation for x, the position of this block, right? And then in mathematical, for physics, it's an equation of motion because it controls the motion. But for mathematics, it's a differential equation because it's an equation, of course, and there is a differentiation here, so it's called differential equation. Because there is no partial, so it's an ordinary differential equation, ODE. Okay? Yeah, so if that's okay, good. Then I can at least spend the first month talking about ordinary differential equation, before maybe going to partial differential equation at the second part of a semester. Then you probably have already learned it from your calculus. Okay, that probably is the best way. But differential equation is so important. If you remember, equation of motion is the thing we can do using Newtonian mechanics. 牛顿力学我们可以做的就是解 equation of motion 嘛，运动方程式嘛。That's the only thing we can do, right? But this only thing we can do control the whole world. Equation of motion. So mathematical physics usually start with telling you how to solve the equation of motion, or put it differently, to solve the differential equation, ordinary differential equation. So that's why you see that next week I'm going to talk about decay equation. Decay equation is one of the differential equation, the simplest one, because it only contains, I write it here, it only contains the first derivative of the thing. It's called the decay equation. Okay, it only contains the first derivative of the function. Okay, so that's the first topic. I probably start from there. And simple harmonic motion is very, very important. Okay, and then another topic for mathematical physics is linear algebra. Linear algebra. In Chinese is 线性代数. Okay, you 你一定稍微学过. You have already learned a little bit about it in high school when teacher talk about matrix, vectors, and how to multiply matrix with matrix. 有没有人不知？所有人都知道怎么乘一个矩阵跟另外一个矩阵吗？ Yeah, so no problem. So you know linear algebra. So that's linear algebra. So linear algebra is the algebra of matrix, vectors, Okay, and it's so important in physics. It's everywhere in physics. Finally, complex number function. Complex number function is important also, especially when we first want to solve the partial differential equation. Okay, and it's very complicated, so we don't probably have so much time to spend on complex variables. So as I say, I will not insist on covering these mathematical topics comprehensively. For example, complex number function of complex variable, so-called 复变分析, I probably can only spend about in my class you don't need to raise your hand if you want to just slip out or slip in to do something. If your girlfriend call, your boyfriend call, you don't have to raise your hand and say, oh, Lina called, John called again. No, you just slip out. Okay, just don't disturb other students. Oh, that will be fine. Okay, so I will not insist on covering these mathematical topics comprehensively. That means patchwork. 我只会大概不会每一个题目都完全的介绍。For example, 那个 complex variables, I could probably only spend 1 week on it. However, the first two topics is so important. It will permeate almost every lecture of our class. Okay. So I will not insist on covering these mathematical courses comprehensively, but I will insist on covering their physics as comprehensively as possible. So you will hear a lot about physics instead of mathematics in this class, because we are physics department after all. So physics. Everything I want to give you a motivation why we want to do a mathematical problem. Understand that? 每次我要叫你们做一个数学问题的时候，我一定会告诉你 why， 我要从物理的角度，我是要解决什么样的物理的问题。Okay, so again, I will insist on covering their physics as comprehensively as possible. Okay, so this is a physics-centric course, and it's to show how mathematics can help us. Okay.
After all, mathematics and physics are inseparable. Are inseparable. Any question up here? 好，所以你想要知道我们会教什么样的数学，这里就是这3个最重要的数学。OK， 好，这3个是最重要的数学。Okay, and of course, this still does not explain the key question. Why? Again, why mathematical physics? Why mathematical physics? After all, you don't have biological mathematics, right? You don't have mathematical biology. You don't have mathematical chemistry. No. However, we do have physical chemistry. That means chemistry and physics are really close related to each other. So here are the same. I say physics and mathematics are really inseparable. To show that, allow me to invite you for a little journey together with this very great physicist, Tony Z, my old friend. I should not call him my friend. He's my teacher's teacher. He's my teacher's teacher, and very, very great, probably one of the best physicists in 20th century. Tony Z, 他的名字叫徐一鸿，他叫徐一鸿。He is Chinese, but was born in Brazil, and educated in the United States, Harvard, Princeton, everywhere, and then finally almost got Nobel Prize, and finally settled in Santa Barbara. He's very eloquent in telling other people what physics, and then telling us what physics is, not just everybody else. Okay, very, very. I attended his lecture course, not lecture course, a 科普 general physics lecture last year at台大. That's how he looks like now. Is how he looked like 40 years ago. And at that time, he published a book. I got a book, but I forgot to bring it with me this morning. It's called Top 10 Idea of Physics. Foundation for Understanding the Universe. That's how the physics was understood by the old generation. Physics is the foundation for understanding the universe. And in this book, he lists. First of all, so there's a lecture course. I went to Taida. Actually, there are 2 视频, 2 video. You can go to, for example, this one. Sorry, I have the computer. Yeah, the first part doesn't have sound. Okay, sound a little bit weak, but that's how he talked about his new book, the 10 top idea in China. He's old now. He's old now, but if you want to see how handsome he is, this is how he is. 40 years ago. I'm double playing. Let me cover it.
So this was this one. So I was asked to give a very, very narrow talk, and one of my purposes was to give it a topic.
You probably could hear it
And one of the purposes was
very clearly, but you can do it at home.
Younger people to think of a new direction how we apply symmetry in physics. So symmetry.
We're talking about symmetry. Talking about symmetry in physics. Okay, so let me invite you to go through a little journey with me and with Tony Z about the top 10 ideas in physics. Top 10 ideas in physics. First among them, the physics world is comprehensible. This is actually Einstein's words. Einstein once say the most incomprehensible thing about the universe is that it is comprehensible. In Chinese, 这个宇宙最难以理解的，就是它竟然是可以理解。That's the thing we do in physics. We trying to understand universe. But if it is incomprehensible, then we are done, right? 那我们就完蛋了。But trust me, the universe is comprehensible. So we have Einstein as our very best 品牌代言人，所以 very good. The second point, top facts, the law of physics. Let me try to here so that you can see more clearly. The laws of physics are the same here, there, and everywhere. The same yesterday, today, and tomorrow. So I would say the physics is general, 普遍的. It's hard to believe this because there are something in universe that are kind of very, very different from us. Us means on the earth. Okay, for example, those on the moon, those on the sun, it's hard not just for us, for the whole human being to realize that they actually follow the same physical law. 你们竟然可以想象得到这个天上的东西跟我们在地球表面上面的东西，竟然是一模一样 ，follow 的定理呢，竟然是一模一样的。Remember, this is the diagram Newton drew, so that if you throw a ball, then if you throw it hard enough, so that it fly fast enough, it will circle the Earth, and it looks like a moon. So there is no absolute separation of law between moon and a small ball, right? So that means 天体跟苹果那个天上的 astronomical body objects follow the same physical law as the apple on Earth. So I would say physical law is universe. It's universal, or you can it's general, 它是普遍的. Okay, so finding this physical law is what we do in physics. Okay, this is very powerful assertion. Okay, and it almost like a faith. 对我们来讲，其实有点像是一个信仰一样啊。Okay, remember, if physical law is universal, then that means as far as 13 billion light years away, you know, our Earth is about 13 light year big. 130亿光年，这么大嘛 ？Okay, because the Earth was born as a small point, 113 billion years ago, and then it fly off almost like a light. So now it's so the size of the universe we can know is about 13 billion, or 13 billion light year. Okay, so that means if the physical law is universal, that means as far away as 13 billion light years, the physical law is the same, with the same electron, with the same proton, and follow the same general relativity physical law. Okay, and we expect the physical law is still there, still true at that time. And we expect the physical law to be still valid at a very, very small size. For example, atoms. Remember, atom is very, very, very small. You can say我们日常生活的东西，the sand is small, the dust is small. No. Atom is really, really small. Everybody knows atom is about 10 to the minus 10 meter, right? So that means in this very, very small world, we expect physical law to still hold. There is still a physical law to hold there. Okay, so this second top facts about physics is really powerful. Again, let's say the laws of physics are the same here, the same there, and everywhere. So our job or our goal in physics department is to find these physical law of physics. OK， 我们的目标就是寻找这些物理定律，寻找这些物理定律。Then, but 这些物理定律长得像什么样 how do these physical law look like? Now we jump to the eighth. Okay. The eighth says that the creator speaks the language of mathematics. This is not a quote by Einstein. It's a quote by Galileo. Galileo, about 400 years ago. 400 years ago. 伽利略，伽利略。So 伽利略曾经说过一句话 in Chinese. You want to understand universe, you need to understand the language of God, and the language of God is mathematics. Mathematics. Okay. Yeah. So how does it come along? The physical law. How to find it? First of all, we have to ask how to find physical law. Galileo is the first to tell us how to find it. You need to observe. Okay, so he used a telescope. He's the first one to use the telescope to observe moon. The point is, observation is the most basic method in science, not just physics. Okay, but observe what? Observe what? Galileo says that if you want to observe, you record numbers. Okay, you could record numbers. That's because at that time, the most interesting question Galileo faced is how to describe an object, free-falling object, 自由落体. Okay, Galileo is the first to do experiment when he throw two balls of different masses to the ground at Pisa, and find they reach the ground at the same time. Although some people argue that this experiment doesn't exist at all. It's only by imagination, but let's talk about that later. Anyway, but it's so famous, it's easier for us to say it's true. So when you throw two things of different mass to the ground and they reach the ground at the same time, that means they follow the same path. If they follow the same path, then this path must be very, very important for us to observe. Not just observe, record. Record the number. What's the number? How far at a fixed time it falls, the distance. 每一个固定时间，它到底走了多少距离嘛？ So it's easy. So it's not easy because at that time things fall so fast. It's without the iPhone, then you will not be able to record the path. So Galileo invented this slope, 斜面, so that when this ball falls off the slope, actually it falls off very slowly. Okay, so that it can record at the specific time separation. For example, 1 minute, 1 second, 2 seconds, Of course, you know that it doesn't have a watch, so you have to use his pulse. You know, 他要用自己的脉搏才能够测哒哒哒哒哒. But the point is, when he record, then so what do you observe? Number. Number is mathematics, right? So when he record the number, he find that the distance is actually the square of the time. 你的距离呢是时间的平方. And Galileo immediately conclude that means the falling objects follow the equal acceleration motion law. 它的 acceleration is actually a constant. It's actually constant. 它的加速度，它事实上是一个常数，中文就叫做等加速度运动。Okay, and then this is very special because that's almost all the way, the path, all the objects on Earth will follow. Everybody follows the same path. Then don't you think this path is very important? And not just important, we find that there is a very, very clear character of this motion. That is, acceleration is the constant. Okay, so the way we study objects' motion or mechanics should shift our focus from velocity, that means how fast it moves, to acceleration, how fast the speed change. In Chinese, 你要把你的注意力从速度转到加速度。That moment when this idea struck Galileo's time, human life, human civilization changed. Make a big progress, a big jump. Because if you shift your idea, shift your focus from speed to acceleration, you find that actually Apple has the same acceleration as Moon, right? Of course, it needs some mathematics again. It needs a genius mathematician, Newton, to figure out the acceleration of a 等速圆周运动 circular motion is actually in this direction. 一个等速圆周运动的加速度是指向圆心的。And it's the same direction as of the acceleration of the apple falling to the ground. So they follow the same feature. That's why we say apple follows the same physical law as moon. If they follow the same rule, then almost everybody in the world follow the same rule. So the physical law is universal. Okay, so the two ideas get together, and we know that 它们这两个运动 the two motion essentially are the same. Are the same. The point is, all the above are mathematics. Isn't it? All the above is mathematics. If you don't know how to count, you don't know how to calculate, you don't know how to do differentiation, you don't know how to say a word, and you don't know how to find physical law. So Galileo says something that is very impressive. He says, again, to understand the universe, you have to understand God's language. God's language is mathematics. That's why we have a mathematical physics. Okay, the creator speaks the language of mathematics. Because the physical law is written by mathematics. Not written by mathematician, but it's written by mathematics. So it's abstract, it's mathematical, and it's abstract. 你不相信? If you don't believe me, look at this page. This is classical physics. All, everything is included in this page. 整个的古典物理就这一张纸啊。Is that right? 那个 universe, 那个 gravitational law. And this is FMMA, Newton's law. And this is charge conservation. And above all is Maxwell equation that governs the electric field and magnetic field. That's it. That's our universe. Or I should say, that's all the physical law of the universe. 所以物理很好读啊. It's easy to learn physics. You just need to take this page with you, isn't it? That's the beauty of physics for me. That's the beauty of physics. It's so simple, it's so transparent, and so beautiful. Okay, anyway, so but probably most of the students won't share my feeling. 对，你们大概不会跟我想一样，感觉一样。What are they? They look intimidating. If you think they look intimidating, you are right. When I first look at your age, at this page from Feynman's lectures, I find it intimidating because I couldn't understand at all what it is. Probably I understand this, but what is this triangle cross B? What is this triangle cross B? What is this triangle dot B? Right, mathematics. First of all, I have to explain to you or your physics teacher has to explain to you. 祥林老师会告诉你们啊 ，What is E electric field? Where is it? Moon, I know what moon is. Apple, I know what apple is. But what is electric field? Where is it? That's the beauty and the difficulty of physics. The object we are treating, 我们的对象不像是生物 our objects not like biology or chemistry. Their objects are clear. It's easy to comprehend. Just how the science itself probably is difficult, but the object is clear. However, for physics, our objects is actually very, very abstract because there is no E. You cannot see E. You cannot feel E. You cannot smell E. No. E is by definition. It's a mathematical definition. What it is, I will talk about it later. Or 祥林老师 will tell you before me, I did. So that means 物理讨论的对象是抽象的数学，抽象的数学 ，OK, and not 看得到的东西。We usually call it tangible thing. We are not talking about tangible thing. We are talking about mathematical thing, abstract things. But the law are beautiful, are simple, because tangible things are not simple. 所有是找得看得到的东西都很麻烦啊，对吧？都很复杂，都很讨厌啊，对不对？Yeah, but the intangible thing or abstract thing are simple. That's why physics chose to treat these abstract things the simple way. That's our object, our goal. 好 physics. So I hope it convinces you that separable mathematics and physics are inseparable. However, you will say, then let's change our department name, mathematical physics, or just unify the physics department to mathematics. No, but again, I have to emphasize, physics is different. Although physics is almost mathematics, but the crucial part is not experiment, observation. Don't forget that what Galileo said. He does not just say God's language is mathematics, but he also say when you want to learn God's language, you observe. Observe means experiment. Okay, so without experiment, without the emphasis on experiment, physics will be the same as mathematics. But we are different. We are different. Even though these things are abstract, electric field, magnetic field are abstract, but we can do experiment and observe. It's almost time. Let me see what okay. Yeah, that I can leave until later. Okay, so let's break for 10 minutes. And the start of next class will start to introduce yourself. Is that okay? Okay, so let's break for 10 minutes. 我们休息10分钟，等一下。